Hey, it's Rob. It's Wax Wednesday stuff I picked up. And this week, yeah, we picked up more stuff. Actually, Krista and I went on the road this weekend and hit Halifax. No real reason, just, it was Mother's Day. She wanted to do a little shopping. We had tickets to go see Winter Sleep at the Marquee, so we went to see them Saturday night. And as with any trip to Halifax we make, we throw in a little record store shopping. So gladly did that. We hit two Taz locations, both the downtown store and the one over in Dartmouth, and we hit a flea market as well. So let's dive in. You all set? Here we go. First one is one that we had planned. We had every intention of buying this one in Halifax because, well, let's face it, he's one of Halifax's favorite sons. Talking about Joel Plaskett. This is a tribute album, Songs from the Gang, a 2-album set. More on the actual release coming up here in just a bit. Songs from the Gang is a play on Songs for the Gang, which is, I believe, Joel's publishing company that he writes his music under. And of course, as far as a catalog of music, he's been with us for a long time. Since the early 90s as a member of Thrush Hermit when he was just a teenager. And then by the time the late 90s roll around into the 2000s, he's into a solo career, which has been fantastic and has been, as far as an artist, he's taken us all across the country numerous times. He's written fantastic songs, some of them more intimate, some of them are flat-out rockers. He's got the ability to go in both directions. But he's just one of our best songwriters. And this album is pretty much a testament to that. Because I don't think I could have picked a better track listing for a Joel Plaskett a tribute album. And let me just give you some of the artists that are involved in this. And this will be just a quick skimming. I'm certainly not all-inclusive on this. I'm just trying to make this move along quickly. Arkells, Sloan, Sheepdogs, Alan Doyle, Fredericton's own David Miles on here. Matt Anderson doing my favorite Joel Plaskett song of all time, Natural Disaster. Bahamas, Mo Kenny, of course, City in Color, Rose Cousins. You get the idea. And again, that's just scratching the surface. I'm a big fan of Joel's music. Both as a solo artist and with his backing group, The Emergency. And this is just a great overall scope of all the greatness of his songwriting career. And done faithfully by some of what I would have to assume are some of his best friends in this industry. And, some of these are very faithful. Some of them are complete reinventions of his songs, but knowing how great of a guy Joel is and how thrilled he would be at the gesture of this tribute album, he would be down with any sort of take on his music that anyone tried to pull off. He's just that kind of person. As for the release itself, it came out on his 50th birthday. It was kind of a present that was set up through his management. Sherry Jones, I don't know how she and the team pulled it off, but they kept this under wraps from Joel with all those people involved and mastering all that music under his nose. With it, they must have had people like, say, Joel's coming, stop tape. It must have literally been almost down to that. But boy, I'm glad they did this. He was totally blown away by this when he received it on his 50th birthday. And can you imagine the feeling that would be? Wow. Anyway, Songs from the Gang. Can't say enough good things about it. I threw this. This was the first thing I threw on as soon as I got home. I couldn't wait to hear it. And I was not disappointed. Highly recommended. Purchased at Taz in Dartmouth, as was this one. It's always nice to buy your friends' records. It feels good. This is Paisley Hearts by Campbell and Johnston, who actually won an ECMA this weekend in Newfoundland for Blues Recording of the Year. Campbell and Johnston are a husband and wife team. Christine Campbell and Blake Johnston. They are great singers. They are great songwriters. They are great musicians. They are the complete package. And man, when they play together, when they cut heads back and forth on guitar, it is nuts. They are so good. And naturally, being a husband and wife team would open up the opportunity to jam an awful lot. And it shows that they do that. They're just great together. If you like your blues with a nice touch of soul, these guys will not let you down. This is Campbell and Johnston and Paisley Hearts. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time they've come out on vinyl. I think, but not 100% sure there. But man, we threw this one on last night too, and it sounds fabulous. Anyway. Beautiful. Excellent work. And Campbell and Johnston, congratulations on your ECMA victory. Well done. Taz Downtown. I've been in a Brian Eno mood lately, so I got more Brian Eno. This kind of is the companion piece to one that we covered here a couple of weeks ago, which was called Here Comes the Warm Jets. It's kind of Brian Eno's first pop album, and this would be his second, although this one has a bit of a darker tone to it. Brian Eno, probably best known as a producer, really. He's done some great albums with David Bowie, the Berlin trilogy. He's the creative guiding force behind that alongside David Bowie. He's done some great work with both the Talking Heads and David Byrne, and of course produced some of the biggest albums for U2, including the Joshua Tree. So, he's one of these guys that really creates a sonic soundscape. He's the first one to say that he's not a musician. And even back to when he was in his first band, Roxy Music, he was just kind of adding more atmosphere and random sounds than he would be flat out melodies or anything like that, but his overall sonic additions were very crucial to making Roxy Music sound as groundbreaking as they were. They were kind of a band that had a 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future. And Brian Eno was the guy who was definitely had his eye on the future. And definitely, he's one of those pioneers of a synthesizer in a band context as well. But again, not playing it simply in terms of notes, but just kind of adapting a sound or creating a sound or a palette, if you will, for the music to work with. So that's Brian Eno. This is his second pop album before he went on to release a few ambient albums, but as far as a pop artist, it's interesting. It's kind of abstract pop, but you can definitely hear the melodies and his melodicism in there. But especially on Here Come the Warm Jets, you can sometimes hear a couple of melodies kind of almost, it seems like they're fighting against each other, but if you stick with it, it'll all make sense in the end. He's one of those guys. So Brian Eno. I didn't say Brian Adams. Brian Eno. And Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy, his second album. So I picked that one up. Ben hit a flea market. And there was one place that had some records. And I got a couple. Picked up this one. I don't have any Little Feat until now. This is Down on the Farm. This is the final Little Feat album to feature Lowell George, who was kind of like the front of the group for its first few years. Actually, right around the time of making this, it also coincided with him making his solo debut. So as far as his contributions to this, I think a lot of Little Feat fans will kind of say, well, this Lowell George had 1 foot out the door on this record, and maybe it kind of shows. But again, Little Feat is just great playing in general, so you're going to get that. But I just love the artwork. It's fantastic. I might frame this. But Little Feat, 1979 release, and Down on the Farm. And one final one to cover before we call it a week is the cover was pretty beat on this. I had to get the glue stick out and patch it together. But the vinyl wasn't too bad, and after a trip around the spin clean, it looked pretty good and it played well. So I was glad to have it. This is Ace Frehley's solo album back in the late 70s. I think it was 78. On the same day, Kiss decided, hey, we're selling lots of albums as Kiss. We'll sell 4 times as many albums if we put out a Kiss record or a record from each member of Kiss and release them all on the same day. It's widely recognized that this is the best of the 4. It's a really good rock and roll record on it, actually. Like anthems like, Rip It Out on this, the dance floor banger, New York Groove, which is still fun to listen to this day. Fractured Mirror, which is kind of a really cool instrumental, is on here. Snowblind, Ozone, Ace kind of making no bones about it, yeah, I do a little drugs. But anyway, Ace Frehley, this, I mean, you can argue with me if you want, but I think this is easily the best of those 4 solo albums. And let's face it, Ace was always my favorite member of Kiss anyway. And the other guys I always thought were kind of cheesy. But Ace, I'm good with. And his solo album is just fine. And not a bad copy. Like I say, the jacket was a little beat and seen some hard times. But the record itself held together pretty nicely. So we good. Wax Wednesday, stuff I picked up. If you picked up something, tell me about it in the comment section, and we'll see you in 7 days. Sound good? Cheers, all. Take care. Play a record tonight.